So, if you have an old metal guitar like the Ibanez Universe UV7 PWH from about 1990 and you want to play it really loudly, it's not, for example, yes, it's an original Steve Vai Universe, but if you want to play it loudly, these pickups are now almost 30 years old, almost. So what you get is a guitar that squeals like a pig, and this is far from the worst guitar I have that does this. For example, if you take an old Les Paul, or if you take ES something, it's gonna squeal like it's being mistreated in a very unsocial way. So I'm using this guitar as an example because it's not that bad really, but if you want to play it really loudly like that good old PV Triumph tube amplifier can do, you want something to help you. And what I have acquired is a noise gate. Noise gate is most often referred to as something that kills noise, but what I'm talking about is madly squealing feedback. And when I went to research this on YouTube, I found a lot of people talking about different pedals from Boss and other brands, but the pedal that people were most eager about was this thia Electronics Sentry. The part of this was because it has something called a tone print, where you can put in some presets into the pedal that shapes the response to either your personal exact likings or to some famous guitarist, like someone from maybe like John Petrucci or something like that. I saw some people, but the point is that I'm not really interested in curing noise because my equipment isn't that noisy. My main guitar is a PRS and it doesn't make noise at all. But what I do is I play really loud in my band, and I use this dual overdrive from Boss, which has quite a lot of gain. It's not a metal pedal per se, but it has enough gain to certainly come into that area of gain that gets you in trouble. So this thia Electronics has a loop, so you can see an effects loop, you can almost say. So you see the green short cable here is going into from the thia Electronics Sentry into the Boss and back out again into the return on the Sentry. And while I have the threshold on the Sentry set for the input of my guitar, if I have my Boss in that loop, the only way the Boss gets any sound in or out is if the gate has opened, and therefore there is absolutely no sound from the PV right now, which is set to 4, which is basically full power on this amplifier. Most tube amplifiers are like that. Most of the power comes up through the first few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last digits on the volume knob is just a small change in the volume. So I have mine set to 4, and I'm going to disengage the gate now, which has been on all the time I've been talking now, and you're going to hear I have the volume on the guitar off now, so I'm going to disengage the thia Sentry, turn up my volume on the guitar, and you can hear that it will go to squeal, not feedback, it will go to squeal because the amplifier is so loud. But then I'm going to engage the TC Electronic Sentry with my foot, because it's a foot pedal, and then you can hear that I can do riffing, and it's going to cut out the squeal and any feedback and any noise when I'm palm muted. And this is what I needed for metal playing. I needed something that kills the feedback totally between chugging. And so it's all well and good with all the videos about how it cures noise from a single coil and a noisy amp or a noisy pedal, but this is about feedback and squeal. So turning up the volume now. So, oh sorry, turn the pedal off first. There comes some noise. Noise, that's from the yellow Boss pedal. I'm going to turn up the guitar now and just listen. It's going to squeal even though I'm holding the strings. TC on, that's nice. So I'm going to play for you now, and it's going to be really loud, so maybe this good old telephone that's recording this is going to break up, or the microphones are not going to take the volume, but you're still going to hear that in between my chugs there will be silence. So you can hear that as long as I have a strong and even attack, the gate opens, but if I'm going to do solos, I will probably need to disengage the Sentry. The Sentry is set in the gate mode here now, and the gate mode with this amount of gain is pretty strict. So even though you just heard me playing some high notes, it was on the border before the Sentry would shut down. So what I would do if I were playing solo, I would disengage the Sentry for the solo bit and turn it back on when I went back into riffs. There might be a bunch of other pedals out there that does this job, but without the send and return that this Sentry has, it would be impossible to block out the noise like it does now. So if I disengage the Sentry here now, you can hear. Ha! That's beautiful. I'm going to play so you can just turn off whenever you want, because I'm not going to say anything more. I'm just gonna play this universe tune down to, I have it in drop D, and I dropped the B string to fit to that, so that's going to be from a B to an A and A to an G, so the guitar is in drop G.